Welcome to the Taste of Home Tasting Room. I'm James, and today I want to give you some tips, hints, and tricks to get your recipe noticed and in front of our tasting panel and possibly win the grand prize. So one of the first things you're going to want to do when you're going to enter a recipe contest is first read the rules. It's going to give you a lot of information that you're going to need to know about what kind of recipes we're looking for. So a lot of times we'll say 12 ingredients or under, 30 minutes maximum, things like that. So make sure your recipes meet those requirements. Otherwise, they just get kicked out, whether the recipe is good or not. Another thing to keep in mind is the number of ingredients you're calling for. How many times have you looked at a recipe and it's like 12, 14, 18 ingredients and you're like, I don't have all that, I'm not gonna go buy it, and you just flip past it. Same thing here. What we're looking for is creative, good home cooking recipes. So be creative, but don't go overboard. Example here is our grand prize winner from the December issue is a baklava thumbprint cookie. Baklava is a great dessert, but it's never in a cookie form, and so this contributor merged the two together to create this amazing tasting cookie. When it comes to naming your recipe, be creative, but also be specific. Don't include names like Johnny's secret ingredient cake. We want to know exactly what it is that's going to be in that cake, so maybe a chocolate pistachio and cherry frosting. Things like that. But a Johnny's surprise cake is not going to help us out when we're scrolling through the recipes looking for those ones to test. Let's head down to the test kitchen and talk about what kinds of things we're going to be looking for when we're testing the recipe. We're here in the test kitchen to make a point. You have to make sure your recipe works. Now this sounds a little odd, but there's a lot of times where we get recipes that don't include all the ingredients or all the information. You know how to make that recipe inside and out, but you may not have written it down as perfectly as possible. So once you get it on paper, give it to a friend, preferably one that really relies on recipes to cook. Try to get a number of people to taste your dish. The reason being is what you may think is perfect, they may think is salty or a little bit sour. That way you can adjust and give us a range of those ingredients. So if you like it a little bit saltier, but your friends like it a little bit less, you can range that from like 1/4 to 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, or a 1/2 cup to 3/4 of a cup of lemon juice, things like that. Then the last step before you send in the recipe is read it. Then read it again, put it aside, pick it up the next day, read through it again. You're going to catch a number of errors that way that may affect how your recipe is judged. We're here in the photo studio to talk about how your recipe looks. So if it's possible, try to get a photo of the dish, and I don't mean just snap a quick one before you dive in. Take the time to put it in good lighting on a simple, clean plate that shows the dish as well as possible. The last bit of advice I can give you is enter more than one recipe. Now, I don't mean enter the same recipe 5, 6, or 7 times. I'm saying enter 7 or 8 different recipes. Go to tasteofhome.com/submit to enter your recipes today.